Hello, friends. Do you remember us? Because we don't remember you.
It's been a minute.
In case you've forgotten, this is station 118 FM. The FM stands for First Martyrs.
I was gonna say Full Metal
Alchemist.
Alchemist. I've never seen that.
Me neither. I've seen some episodes. Anyways, I'm Sachi Howson, the one and only. I'm sure you've missed me more than you've missed.
Kapp, the jester, the clown. I'm just here to joke and jest and have a good time.
A little bit of housekeeping. In case you didn't notice, we disappeared for 6 months and then came back. That's my B. You know what? We recorded 2 episodes and then I was just like, I can't do this. I need to focus on rotting on the couch while I grow this child. And let me tell you, as soon as that baby was out of me, it's like my brain grew back.
You're like the Grinch, except your brain grew 3 sizes.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're back and I'm excited.
I quite literally remember you texting me when she was fairly new, and you were like,
I think I was still in the hospital.
No, Jen, you were wait, my brain's working again. I feel alive.
I don't know what that placenta did to my brain, but it was nothing good.
Nothing good.
Before we get into the actual podcast, I did want to mention that we do have a Patreon now. We finally bit the bullet. Get it? You're like, no.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. We made a Patreon, so if you want to support us while we go on this endeavor,
please.
The link is in the show notes. $2, a measly little donation.
That's less than a bottle of soda.
Oh, geez. Put away your soda and your avocado toast, as they say to us millennials, and support Sachi and M instead.
Yeah, don't save for a house. You're never gonna get one in this economy. Unless you're Sachi and David.
Okay, well, what can I say?
David was a studious saver.
Hey, I contributed some. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, you did. I forgot. I just remember David talking about how intensely he was saving. That's all.
Yeah, well, he worked all through high school and college and never did anything with the money.
He was just putting it in a nest like a squirrel.
Yeah, he paid for his entire college with his Chick-fil-A funds.
That's crazy.
I know. He did.
I'm actually really impressed at how he made that work.
Yeah, his parents didn't help him. He didn't get any loans or anything.
It's insane. It's really impressive.
I know. Couldn't be me.
Teach me your ways, except don't, because I don't want to do that.
Did you guys miss this, our inability to get to the point?
Yeah, we love to yap, as if you're somehow just now tuning in. If you didn't know.
Season 2, episode 10. $2 gets you early access to the episodes. $5 gets you... It gets you bonus extended cut episodes that are not spoiler free.
If you ever want to hear us uncensored, that's where you go.
So the extended cuts, there's 2 up already. It's more Sachi and M bants, more spoilers, more opinions.
Too many opinions.
Way too many opinions.
We're just saying whatever in them.
And then $10 a month gets you all that, plus a bonus episode. I'm currently editing our November bonus episode. It is some tarot predictions for season 9B coming up, so you better go and subscribe before 9B comes out to see how it pans out. And if you're listening to this post 9B, go see how accurate we were.
Also, I'm not sure it needs to be said, but just in case you guys don't know how Patreon works, if you subscribe to the highest tier, you get everything also included in the lower tiers. So don't worry about that if you're like, oh, I want the extended cuts, but I also want the extra episodes. You're still going to get it if you, depending on what tier you subscribe to. And yes, they are named after things in Bobby's dating profile. So
I don't think anybody will get that, but we thought it was funny, so that's all that matters.
I referenced my detailed notes on Bobby's dating profile.
And then the last tier is the $20 tier. That doesn't get you anything special. That just gets you that's just for Tim Minear.
Okay, if we have any extremely wealthy listeners, Tim Minear, who want to subscribe to this $20 tier, please do so. We're poor. Times are tough. Sachi has a baby.
Em needs a new laptop.
I do need a new laptop. Times are hard. And you know what?
I did want to shout out our patrons so far, which isn't many, but like we haven't talked about it on the podcast yet. So that is Mr. Michael, who definitely will not be listening to this, but that's okay.
Some
Essa, love you. Can't wait to see you. And Astro, thank you. They subscribed to the $10 tier, so they're getting our bonus episode.
Astro is our one bonus episode listener so far. And you know what? It's just for you.
So when you listen to that episode, know that Em and I are speaking directly to you specifically.
Yeah, it's for you. Only for you. Everyone else, you better sign up so that it can go just to you on the next one.
And the other thing I wanted to mention is that if you do sign up for any of the paid tiers, you get added to our Discord. We're hoping that it's not super active right now because it's like me, Em, and like 2 other people.
Full confession, I forgot about it. Since we set it up a little while back and I forgot.
But hopefully it can become more active as more people join. And in order to join, you have to sign up for the Patreon, and then hopefully Em will remember. But I'll definitely be there because I'm addicted to Discord. I'm always in Discord.
Yeah, I need to re-download it on my phone. I just forgot about it because we haven't been actively promoting it. So,
well, now we are.
Oh, and also don't feel bad if you can't subscribe to anything or don't want to or like whatever, or if you were like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Please don't feel bad. Do what's best for you. We love you anyway.
You're listening. That's all that matters. This is just a little extra support out of the goodness of your own heart.
Right now, all this is doing is basically going towards paying for our editing software.
Let's get into it. Season 2, episode 10, Merry Xmas.
We also, don't we need to talk about our emergencies?
Yes, I'm getting there.
Okay, sorry. Usually when you say let's get into it,
we'll get into like the meat of the episode. That was just housekeeping. That was me with my dustpan and brush sweeping up the dirt and throwing it out. And now
I'm sorry, Miss Cinderella.
Okay. Emergencies of the week. I have one. Do you have one?
I have so many all the time. I'm trying to think of what my worst problem was this week. Oh, I'll tell about what happened this morning. It's not really an emergency, but it was weird. Just so you guys know, we're recording this on November 22nd, the Saturday before Thanksgiving. This morning, I was taking notes on the episode. And I was right now, partner and I are staying with their parents because we're trying to save some money. I explained this in the bonus episode, but only Astro's going to hear that. So anyway.
Astro is actually in the podcast with us today. He's probably listening like, what the heck?
My emergency is Astro was there.
They're probably like, why have I become an inside joke now? Station 118 meme, sorry.
Yeah, so the context is we're staying in California currently. We're hoping to go back to Oregon in the new year. Anyway, I'm going up to Oregon today for Thanksgiving with my family. We're not recording. I'm taking notes in the episode and we're hanging out and I hear this noise outside and I swear I thought it was like an injured or lost dog. It sounded like a dog like upset. And so I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I can hear it pretty clearly and it keeps happening. I'm going to go outside and see what it is. Listeners, there were turkeys on my car. There were 4 turkeys. One of them was on my car and the rest of them were on the fence next to the car. I was like, oh my God, it's a Thanksgiving miracle.
Did you capture one to bring up to Oregon with you?
I did not, but I did capture a picture of them. Perhaps I'll put that up on our Instagram story when this episode drops. But yeah, there were turkeys on my car, and I was like, oh my God, 'tis the season. I thought I was hallucinating, and I had to bring everybody out to look at the turkeys. And sure enough, I was not hallucinating. And hopefully they didn't scratch my car, but I didn't see anything. That's my story for today. Turkey on car.
Oh my goodness. I had to call 911. I guess on the baby. I feel kind of bad saying that. She's only 4 months old and already I'm calling the cops on her. Miss Girl, this was actually maybe more on me than on her, but so she pooped and I was taking her pants off to change her diaper and I don't know what I did. A glob of poop flung and landed directly in my eyeball. And I was like, oh my god, I have a fear of pink eye. I've never had it, but even thinking about it, it like really, it gives me the wig. I don't want it. And so I was like blindly, like, she was, first of all, she was covered in poop, so I couldn't put her in the crib. But also, I didn't want to just like leave her on the changing table because she like rolled over and died. And so I have like poop in my eye, and I'm calling out, David, David, come help me. He's like, what is wrong? I was like, poop in my eye. And then she was just like so covered in poop, and to give her a bath. Meanwhile, I'm in the sink like running water to get the poop particles out. I did escape pink eye, but I was feeling real weird about it for the rest of the day. But I think I was really stressed out. But we're good. Baby poop is built different. It's not quite the same as human poop, you know?
Well, it has to be like very clean because she's only drinking milk.
But she's drinking my milk, and I drink a lot of diet soda, so.
Oh, you got some aspartame in your eye.
So that's my emergency. Sorry to the babe.
I think she'll forgive you.
I hope so. Anyways, shall we get into the actual episode? Let me pull up my notes.
Should. Yeah, I need to pull up my notes too. This episode's fun.
It's gonna be weird, like, remembering that we can talk about spoilers. Because for the last 2 episodes, we were, I posted, like, extended cuts of the last 2 episodes, but we recorded them, like, 6 months ago, back in May. And so there were still no spoilers because we hadn't like set up the Patreon yet.
We would like actively stop ourselves when we were like something spoiler, and then we're like, oh, we'll just cut that out. But like now, freedom.
This is season 2, episode 10 of the hit TV show 911. It was written by Christopher Monfetti, directed by Bradley Bucher, and originally aired on November 26th. 2018. So almost a year to the date.
A year to the date?
Surprise! We're back in 2019.
Oh god, we've got a big storm coming.
Oh god, you're right. The summary. Are you ready to rate the IMDb summary?
Oh yes, I'm very excited.
Our
actually.
favorite game. The first responders deal with a man trapped in a present, a mistletoe oh my god. A mistletoe stunt gone awry, and a Christmas light showdown. Bobby contemplates his future with Athena.
What do you guys think will happen? Do you think they're gonna break up?
Yes. They actually break up at the end of the episode, and then they never speak again.
And it's really awkward for the rest of the show.
Yeah. Like, they are always the one that got away.
Katy Perry actually wrote that song about them.
Yeah, season 8, they're like at a scene together, and they like still can't really make eye contact, and it's like, okay, you guys are in your 50s.
And then like one of them walks away, and the other one looks after them longingly.
Cold open to a man mad about his Christmas light display. It's like him and his neighbor both have like these really extravagant light displays, but more people
go to his neighbors than to his.
And he's like grumbling to his wife about it. He's like, what does this guy have that I don't have? And she's like, this is not what Christmas is all about. And he's like, well, it is to me.
It's just crazy.
This is like some white person behavior.
Oh, it is. Because like the way he's like he's like talking to his wife, and he's bribing them with food. He's like doing all these things like to try and like get them to come. And his wife is like, you need to calm down. And he's like, I will not come down, actually.
I did write this quote down. She says, be grateful for what we have. And he's like, no. Which, like, okay. Crazy. He decides to one-up his neighbor, I guess. And he, like, he's climbing up onto the roof. And his wife is like, girl, what are you doing? And it's like this giant inflatable snowman. And when he plugs it in and it inflates, it knocks him off the roof. Of course, she calls 911, and they love their crazy 911 pickups, and she just goes, I think Christmas killed my husband. Nobody would say that in that situation.
I know. I feel like the first thing you would say would be, my husband fell off the roof. I understand she's got a lot going on, but like, girl, he fell off the roof. That's what you need to be saying.
Oh boy. But the 118 gets there, and the way Bobby runs over in this scene is so goofy. And he like scurries over like a newborn deer. And I'm like, okay. And they're like checking him. He's apparently fine. And he like looks at his clothed back and goes, he has no spinal damage, which whatever you say.
They're talking about all the decorations and stuff. And I did not write down who said this, but two things of dialogue. One goes, I think this might have, I think it was between Buck and Chimney, but I can't remember who said what. One of them goes, looks like the baby Jesus broke your fall. And the other one's like, it's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, I think that was Buck and Chimney. Because basically the guy is totally okay because he landed on, I guess, a nativity scene and baby Jesus softened. Which, however, he did that and he was able to clear him of injuries without.
Well, yeah, well, he looked at the baby Jesus and was like, well, obviously he protected him. Catholicism.
So that's the cold open, and then we cut to Athena's house. Bobby is there, and he is trying to untangle Christmas lights. But Athena is like, you're never gonna get it done. It's fine. Blah, 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 blah. And then she goes into the garage to get a Christmas present. She got Harry.
I could not tell what this was.
Yeah, neither could I.
I tried to read the packaging. It looked like some sort of like go-kart bike situation thing. And then Bobby goes off on this whole like story about how he and his brother actually were obsessed with lawn darts when they were Harry's age. And he was like, yeah, my brother was really good at it. He used to throw it really high up in the air and watch me freak out while I was trying to figure out where it would land.
I don't know what lawn darts are.
I think it's like darts, like how you would throw darts at the wall. I think you put a target on the grass and you're like throwing them, trying to arc them into that target. But I don't know. I think that's an old person game that Bobby played when he was young in like 1912. Anyway, he's talking about his the Christmas lights and how it's gonna take a while. He's like, this is gonna take like 3 hours, and I gotta get home and whatever. And Athena's like, well, you could just sleep over. And you know what? You sleeping over would be even better if you didn't have to go home in the morning.
Yeah, so basically Athena is asking him, well, no, not basically, she asks him to move in, and Bobby freezes. He does not know what to say. He panics, and she's like, you don't gotta say yes right now. Like, I'm just putting it out there. I like it better when you're here, and I thought we were there. And he's like, oh well, I'm just surprised, and yada, yada, yada.
She's like, there's no ultimatum. Think about it. Take whatever time you need. I'm just ready to move forward, and I want you to know that I'm open to the next step. And he's like...
Yeah, Bobby was taken by surprise. He was...
taken aback.
Yeah, so we kind of leave them there, and at one point Athena goes, you look like you're praying for a 911 call, and Bobby's like, no, well, maybe a small one, like a cat stuck in a tree.
Sir,
move in with your woman. God.
And also, it's like they frame this like Bobby has never moved in with somebody before. Like he's like very young and has no idea what he's doing or something, and this is like the first time he's done that. The man was married with children. He's moved in with a partner before.
Well, this is his first partner post mass death of his family,
I suppose.
Then we cut to Chimney's apartment, which is a mess because Buck is still sleeping on his couch and apparently is just flinging his stuff everywhere and
everywhere. He's also working out in the middle of Chimney's kitchen.
Yeah. So we see Buck, like, music is blasting, Buck is doing push-ups, and Chimney comes out and he's like, that music is really loud. And Buck is just like, good morning, roomie. And Chimney's like, yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work out anymore.
He's like, about that, get out.
And he kicks Buck out, which Buck is crazy. He was just like, he had no problem just being on Chimney's couch. And you know what?
Forever.
So he shows up at Maddie's house and he's like, hey, sup? And she's like, yeah, I already have an air mattress for you. And he's like, you saw this coming? And she's like, what do you mean? Like, are you stupid?
She literally goes, "You didn't?"
I know Chimney has been complaining to her for weeks, and she's been like, just kick him out, dude.
She's like, "Just send him to me. It's fine. I'll get his ass in gear." And he's like, "I don't know. I don't want to be a bad friend." But it's been too long, sir. Our next cut is to Eddie's house, and he is doing something stupid. He and Shannon are hooking up, and we learn they have been continuously saying that they're going to talk about their problems and figure out the next steps. But every time they try and talk about it, they just keep having sex.
If there's one thing Eddie hates more than having sex with a woman, it's having to talk about his feelings.
Oh, yeah. So he will do his second most hated thing, having sex with a woman, to avoid his first most hated thing.
Dealing with his feelings.
And Shannon's basically like, okay, I don't want to keep doing this. Like, we keep saying we're going to move forward, and it keeps not happening because they start talking about Chris and about how Eddie and Chris are going to go get a Christmas tree and about Christmas traditions. And Shannon talks about how one time while Eddie was gone, they got a really big tree because she couldn't say no to him, and they put it in the backyard, and it was really special.
We do get some Eddie lore here where Shannon's like, when are you gonna take him to see Santa? And Eddie's like, I don't know. And Shannon's like, just because you're scared of Santa. And Eddie's like, I'm not scared of Santa. And apparently, it turns out that when Eddie was a kid, his parents went to go take him to see Santa, or Abuela took him to go see Santa, and he got so scared, he threw up on him. And this happened 2 years in a row.
And he tries to be like, Shannon, no, I had the stomach flu. I wasn't scared. And she's like, this happened multiple times. You did not have the stomach flu 2 years in a row.
So that's just some random Eddie lore. And then Chris and Abuela get home, and Eddie treats Shannon like a common whore.
It's so horrible. He's like, you've got to get out of here. He can't see you. As though she isn't his mother.
As if they're not still legally married.
He basically is like, you need to sneak out the window. You need to go. Like, he can't see you anywhere. And so he goes out to distract Chris and Abuela so that they don't see Shannon. And Abuela's like, did you have company? Because she notices he's got 2 wine glasses on his coffee table. And he's like, no, I'm just not good at cleaning up.
And she's like, okay.
And poor Shannon is like peering out of the bedroom door, seeing her son across the house and like not being able to go to him. It's like, it's actually very sad.
Like, when Shannon first showed back up, I was like, definitely like got where Eddie was coming from, like not trusting her, not wanting her to see Chris right away. But the implication is that it's been a few months at this point, and they've been sleeping together for a while. So it's kind of crazy that like this amount of time has passed. They're sleeping together, and even Shannon says this. She's like, I thought sleeping together was like us reconciling, and where after Eddie was like, I'm not gonna let you see our son just because you're sleeping with me. And she's like, it's not a transaction. Like, we're married. That's my son.
Yeah, she's like, I thought we were working towards fixing things. And she says later on in the episode that it's actually, like, you were right, it's been 2 months that they've been sleeping together. And I agree. I was definitely more on Eddie's side, like, at the beginning. But Shannon has been continuously showing that she does want to be in Chris's life, and she does want to start things over and like really try with a fresh beginning. And I don't think it's fair for Eddie to hold this over her head and also refuse to make any sort of progress, because like she's ultimately, if it came down to it, she would be like, look, I care more about seeing him than I care about you.
Like, Eddie is very much just trying to shove all of his problems under the sex rug in this episode, which Eddie, he likes to do that. Maybe not always under the sex rug, but under a rug. It just so happens to be a sex rug this time.
Yes. And it's not good.
We cut to a packing plant. They're like packing up, I guess, Christmas gifts or toys.
It's like an Amazon knockoff warehouse. You can tell they wanted it to be Amazon, but they're wearing the blue shirts. Like, it's very Amazon.
one of the machines starts to malfunction, and so one of the workers goes to check on it, and then it like hits him in the head, knocks him unconscious, and he falls into a box that is perfectly man-sized.
I know. I don't know what they were going to put in there, but he goes in. His name is Brandon, by the way. We do find that out. He gets covered with styrofoam. The box gets sealed up, and he's like shipped out while he's passed out.
And so he comes to in the box and he calls 911. And Maddie's like, can't you just punch out of it? And he's like, no, I've been shrink wrapped.
The craziest thing I will say about this scene is she's like on the call. Josh shows up to like help her, and he is wearing a Santa hat, which feels wildly inappropriate for what's going on.
This is like the Halloween episodes when Maddie has like her little cat ears.
Yeah, and Josh is like in a full outfit. Crazy thing is, I don't think he even says anything in this episode. He just comes, stands next to Maddie, and goes, and like that's it.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he's like, I'm gonna call the warehouse and have them start calling the drivers and stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's like very minimal though.
So the 118 gets there, and we find out that he was loaded onto a plane, and by the time the plane realized that he was in there, they had been in the air for 18 minutes, and he was in the cargo, which is not pressurized or heated, so they got pretty close to altitude, which is not great for your boy Brandon.
He's telling Maddie on the phone too before he goes up in the air. He's like, there's not much air in here. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. He's really worried. Also, he starts talking about his mom, and she's like, don't worry, we'll get you home for Christmas. And he's like, unless you're gonna ship me to Seattle, I don't think so. And he starts talking about how he's like, oh my god, I should call my mom just in case they don't get to me in time. And then Maddie's like, don't worry, King. It'll be okay. So when the 118 gets there, they start looking all over in the cargo hold, and they go in there, and then what they end up hearing is his phone starts ringing, and they can locate the box using that because apparently Maddie told him she was going to continuously call his phone so that they would be able to find him when they got to him.
Bobby is like, Eddie, get your stethoscope out. I guess like figure out where the phone is. And the first box Eddie puts his stethoscope to is the box the guy is in.
A lucky break.
Just like he got a lucky break knowing that the other guy didn't have any spinal injuries.
They end up doing compressions on Brandon and get him back and whatever. It was actually kind of nice because we actually got to see them rotating out like how they should be doing. Love when we get to see Buck actually doing, and he comes back and he's like, oh, the 911 lady said that she was gonna whatever. And she calls again, and Chimney answers and tells Maddie that everything's okay.
Of course, it's Chimney and Maddie.
By the way, Angel cried during this scene.
Wait, David cried during a different scene later on in this episode.
Wait, Angel cried during a later scene too. Was it the military scene?
Oh my god, these kids.
We have emotional people watching these episodes with us.
Oh, I wrote a quote, better on the tree than under it. What's on the tree?
Oh, because they were talking about the shiny blanket that they put over him, and they were like, oh, you look like tinsel.
Oh. I was like, wait, I get that under it is a reference to him almost being a present. Okay. But I was like, wait.
Because he looked like tinsel, like a shiny ornament. Yeah. Okay, that was it.
We cut back to the firehouse. I guess they're having like a community Christmas day because
it was a toy drive. There was a sign.
We see Buck with a little girl, and he's wearing a Christmas hat. And then who shows up? Gasp! It's Shannon! And Eddie is like, we can't do this right now. And she's like, well, I needed to talk to you in a place where we wouldn't risk like falling into bed with each other. And then he's like,
yeah, she's like, we cannot bone down at your place of work.
Yeah, like we need to talk. At this point, this is like when Buck and Chimney realize that Eddie is sleeping with his ex-wife, and they like, because they're hearing this, they like look at each other, and so Eddie's like, follow me, and he takes her to the glass locker room.
They go and fight where anybody can see them. I don't know why.
I guess nobody could hear them.
we already kind of covered what they talk about here because we jumped ahead a little bit, but I thought it was extremely foul how he essentially calls her a whore. And he's like, oh, so you sleep with me and then I let you see Christopher? Is that how that works? And she's like, dude, no, that's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and then she's like, no, this isn't like an exchange. I'm not prostituting myself to you. I thought that we were like fixing our relationship since we're literally still married and we're sleeping together and I want to have a family with you. And he's like, oh.
Yeah, and she's like, and you know what? I thought it was going well and that we were actually making progress until you hid me from our son. And she's like, it's not okay. You cannot continue to sleep with me while doing this and like holding power over me like this. He's like, I don't have any answers to this and how this should work. And she's like, no, but you have all the power in the situation. Like, I get it. I messed up. I left, but you are holding this over me in a very cruel way. And he's ultimately like, look, I can forgive you, but I don't know if I can trust you. And that's kind of where they leave that for now.
And like, I get that from Eddie, but what really gets me is just like his refusal to come up with any sort of plan. He's just keeping her in limbo where he's like, well, I don't want to completely keep Chris from you forever, but I don't know how to move forward. And he's not working to try to move forward with her. And he's not being honest with Chris about it either.
The crazy thing about it too is Eddie is so closed off about this and so secretive about it. He could be going to other people for advice on how they should be handling the situation. He has so many people in his life who could provide like solid opinions and help him figure this out, but he's just not going to them. And it's ultimately a disservice to both him and Shannon because it's like he doesn't want to hear her opinions about how they should handle it, but he's also he's like in a holding pattern. He's not able to form his own opinions about it because he hasn't talked to anybody.
He does eventually talk to Buck, which he should have done. Like, they've been sleeping together for 2 months, and it's implied that Buck and Chimney just found out in this episode. And Buck does tell him, like, you should let her see her son. And he does.
It shouldn't have taken that long. I feel like he should have talked to Buck after like maybe a week.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine sleeping with your ex for that long and like not telling your kid?
Continuously avoiding it. And also it's like what strikes me as odd too is that it's not even like he was completely cutting her off from spaces that Christopher inhabits. Like he let her come over to their home. Like it would be different if he was like, no, like let's meet up somewhere. I don't want you in the house. Like I don't want him to potentially walk in on that.
And she's living somewhere.
Yeah, she has her own place. Why are they going to Eddie's place where Chris lives? It's so sneaky. And like it's weird. I need you to know about this note that I wrote in between this scene and the next scene. I wrote, girl, where has Hen been this whole episode? Okay, I know last episode was Hen Begins, but this is not a Hen heavy episode. And she literally appears like twice. I wrote a timestamp of when she appears.
I have noticed that usually when they have like an episode that's really centered on one character, that character will get less screen time in the following episode.
If I'm remembering correctly, I don't think she was at a lot of the emergencies like in the first half of the episode. Because like you'd think that she would say something, and I'm like, I just don't remember her being there. Speaking of gay people.
So then we cut to Michael and Athena. And Athena is doing her favorite thing post-divorce, which is asking Michael for relationship advice. So Michael gives like this whole speech about how home isn't a place, it's a people, and how like Athena is Bobby's home and Bobby is Athena's home, and like they don't need to live together for that to be true. But also that he like gets why that she wants him to move in, that it's like a big step for him because his entire family did die. And like this, it's one thing to have to be like in a committed relationship after that happens, but to like make a new home with somebody, that's really moving forward from something tragic that Bobby is gonna have to face.
Because Athena also says during this conversation, she's like, things have been so good between us that I truly forgot how complicated our situation is as at a base level. And I wrote down something she said here, which I thought was cute, if like bittersweet. She was like, when he's here, I'm joyful. When he's not, I'm lonely. And I thought he felt the same. He does. He has to process it. 18 minutes in, our first hen appearance and line.
Bobby is praying, meditating.
I think he's just like, he's zoning out in the locker room.
Yeah, dissociating in the glass locker room.
And because it's glass, she walks by and she's like, hey, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And he's like, no, I'm fine. Like, go home. I don't want to keep you. And she's like, you're clearly not fine. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, so she basically tells Bobby, like, you deserve to be happy, and if that's not with Athena, you need to tell her, because neither of you deserve to have your heart broken. And I think that this is the point where he's like, oh, wait, Athena does make me happy, and that's okay, and I do deserve that. Because I think a lot of it was that, like, he probably did feel guilty that, like, I am so happy in this relationship, how can I be happy when my entire family is dead?
He's definitely like, I don't deserve to have a new chance at a family and at love after what happened. And I think Hen saying this to him, especially coming from the position of not only being Bobby's friend, but also being like Athena's best friend, I think that really means a lot, especially because she did start that with saying, like, look, you both deserve to be happy. I would love that if that is together. But if it's not, that's also okay. And you need to do what's best for you and you need to figure that out. And he's like, I don't know. I just panicked. And she's like, well, maybe that's your answer. Like, maybe you need to take that into account. So wheels are turning in the Bobster's head.
Which I think this scene is like, I mean, like when it originally aired, it's probably kind of set up. Like, we know watching it, Bobby and Athena aren't breaking up, but I think it was kind of like set up to be like, oh my God, are they going to break up? But I think like the panic was like, oh wait, I'm not actually panicking about moving in with Athena. I'm panicking about moving forward from my family. And what
And also, I think it's especially hard for Bobby because he only recently decided he was ready to start dating again and move on, period. And he truly happened to hit the jackpot kind of in terms of a relationship right away. And that has to be hard for his mental picture that he had like planned out, especially if he was thinking like, well, maybe I'll continue to date for a while, get used to it, and then hopefully along the line I end up meeting somebody who I really click with. And instead it's like, well, they mesh together immediately.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something you're gonna hate. They felt hard and fast. They're Dan and Phil Slay.
Not good. Not good. Honestly, also to counter, because you said something I hated, I'll say something you're gonna hate. Low-key, Frank Iero and his wife.
Buck and Chimney are at a Christmas tree farm, and as usual, Buck is gossiping about Eddie's life to Chimney. Yeah, Chimney's like, this is none of our business. And Buck's like, it's my business.
And then Chimney's like, anyway, I'm gonna talk about your sister.
But apparently, Chimney wants to get her a gift, and that gift is gonna be a Christmas tree. And he is looking around, and he leaves Buck because Buck is annoying the crap out of him.
Yeah, he's like, you're not helping me, go away.
Yeah, and he's looking for, and a mysterious man shows up and is like, who is played by Jennifer Love Hewitt's actual husband. So this guy, yeah, he introduces himself as Jason Bailey, and he is like asking Chimney, is this tree for a girl? Which
who gets a tree for a girl other than Chimney?
And Chimney is spilling his guts to this stranger.
He's like, oh yeah, I mean, she's not my girlfriend, but she's a girl that I want to get a gift for. And Jason Bailey is like, you should get a noble fir.
Chimney goes for it, and he brings it over, and Maddie is super weird about it.
She's panicking about something.
She's like, I'm not doing Christmas this year.
Buck is there too, by the way. He did come, and he and Chimney also stopped and picked up a bunch of decorations and like ornaments and stuff.
she's like, I don't need a tree. Like, I don't even have any decorations. I left them all in Pennsylvania. And Buck's like, well, we got decorations. We even got this angel. And she's like, angels are creepy. Get that away from me. And Buck is like, what? And he's like, oh, so you hate Christmas now? And Maddie's like, no, but I don't like you.
Chimney, meanwhile, is like, oh, okay, they're having a family fight. I am just gonna, don't worry, I'll just get rid of it. I'll return it. I'll put it out on the curb. Like, don't even worry. I'll just make it go away. And he walks away, like, hauling the tree, all sad, to the curb. And he could hear them fighting inside the house. And he's like, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, like, I get why Buck is upset, but he could have stood to be a little bit more sympathetic to Maddie's trauma, especially because he acknowledges that it's Doug's fault.
He's like, another thing I have to blame Doug for.
Which, like, I think his anger is towards Doug, but he's taking it out on Maddie, and that seems kind of crappy of him.
Yeah, it's not great. Granted, she hasn't shared a lot of details about what happened with him, but I think the anger is a bit misplaced. Though I understand his thought process of being like, I just wanted to do something nice for you. I just wanted to have a good Christmas with my sister. And this is like a real wrench in the plan.
So we cut to the next emergency. They're at, it's like a tiki restaurant, which is weird. And they have a missile drone flying around. It's like a drone.
Already insane to have a drone indoors.
So there's a drone flying around inside of the restaurant with mistletoe, putting it around, like, above couples. And meanwhile, it's cutting between this and these two waiters fighting. I guess they were in a sort of situationship, and it's kind of mirroring Bobby and Athena, where he was moving too fast and she got scared, and her getting scared made him run away. And so this entire time, she is like yelling at him, and he's like, well, why are you afraid? And she's like, I'm not what does he say? I'm not phobic, I'm afraid. Oh, he calls her a commitment phobe.
And he's like, I'm not phobic. She's like, I'm not phobic, I'm just scared. And he is, that means the same thing.
Eventually, the drone smashes into her face and, like, cuts off the tip of her nose.
Which is insane. Another reason why you should not be having a drone inside. There were also several moments during their fight where they were having to dodge the drone while they were arguing. So, like, and this happened, like, while they were in a heated moment of their argument. That's when she got hit with the drone because she didn't dodge it. This is one of those emergencies where Athena does come to the scene. I hope, we don't see this, I hope she, like, wrote up the restaurant owner. Because that's so dangerous.
Yeah, so Buck is, like, looking around for the nose while the 118 helps them, and they're kind of like, he, like, refers to her as his girlfriend, and they kind of, like, talk it out while Buck is looking for the nose, and they're trying to stop the bleeding.
It's kind of funny because Bobby and Athena are, you can see whose side they're on in the argument, because, like, Bobby goes like, well, maybe she needed a minute, and Athena's like, well, how was he supposed to know that?
Bobby is very much, I don't want to break up with her, but I don't want to move, like, I don't know if I want to move in with her yet. And Athena's kind of like, is he breaking up with me? Like, is this the end? Or, like, what's happening? Because he has not communicated anything to her as to this point.
And this was something that we forgot to say in the conversation between Bobby and Hen. Something that he says to Hen specifically is he was like, I'm stuck here because I don't know where I should go tonight. Normally I ask Athena what she wants to do, but I feel like if I go, I have to give her an answer, and if I don't go, that is an answer. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah, so this is very much paralleling them, but then at the end of the scene, he's kind of like, okay, like, we can slow down, and I can be with you, and I can, like, help you through this fear. And Bobby and Athena are like, oh yeah, who knew? We can do that.
And then Buck finds the tip of the nose.
Buck is giving a bad dog in this episode. Like, he doesn't have a huge role. He's kind of just, like, constantly doing something weird.
He's in other people's business. He's getting mad at them for not doing what he thinks they should be doing. And he's, like, searching for a nose.
The doggiest dog of them all.
The doggiest dog. It's a dog-eat-dog world.
So then Chimney is at the video. Okay, so I thought this was the video store, and then I was like, oh.
I thought it was like a Blockbuster, and then I was like, wait, there's like records in the back.
Yeah, so I think it was just a Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, I think he was just buying a DVD, but it was the original shot was set up like he was at a video rental store, and I was like, do those still exist?
Yeah, I was like, this didn't come out that long ago.
I was like, in 2019, they existed. No, 2018. It was fall 2018. I was like, come on. Also, I'm excited that this episode, the release of this episode, is going to be coming out so close to Christmas. It's very fun of us. It just worked out like that.
If we had not accidentally taken a 6-month hiatus.
This would have been a summer episode.
But no, Chimney is at a video store. I think he's literally just at a Barnes and Noble. I was gonna say, his Steve Harrington sleigh.
Oh, yes. Anyway, guess who shows up to stalk Chimney while he's purchasing Die Hard?
Which, if we remember, that is the first movie he showed up to Maddie's apartment with to watch with them. Jason Bailey, aka Jennifer Love Hewitt's husband, shows up and is like, oh my goodness, so weird finding you here.
Fancy meeting you here. Which, like, okay.
Chimney goes to pay for the DVD and he realizes he lost his wallet.
Oh, wait, I have to say something. I feel like Jason, he was really weird about this. Chimney was like, oh, like, it's a Christmas movie, ha ha ha. And then Jason goes, well, to me, it's just a movie about a guy trying to keep his marriage from falling apart. And you know what? It was difficult for them, but they made it work in the long run, and they did end up back together. And Chimney's like, okay. Anyway, I like it. It's a Christmas movie. But you were saying about his paying.
So he goes to pay and he realizes he doesn't have his wallet. And he's like, oh, crappity doo-dah, crappity day. I think I left my wallet in the car. Jason is like, oh, I'll pay for it. And he's like, oh no, it's probably in the car. I'll just go get it. And Jason's like, no, like seriously, I'll pay?
Just in case it's not, I'll pay for it, and also here's some cash to pay for the parking structure. And Chimney's like, oh, I couldn't ask you to do that. And he's like, no, I'm offering, don't worry. And that's the end of that. Low-key, obviously by the end of the episode, we know that this is not the case, but why does it seem like Jason Bailey has a crush on Chimney?
Speaking of crushes.
Yes!
We cut to the next scene.
Which is an iconic scene in the Buddy Lexicon.
I also have some Sachi Buddy lore.
Oh, do tell.
Let's talk about it first and then I'll talk about my lore. So Buck and Eddie took Chris to see Santa and they're talking about Shannon. And Buck does say, it's not like you're breaking any commandments, referring to them sleeping together.
They are technically married.
Eddie is saying, like, she ran away, but I ran away first. And we find out that when Chris was diagnosed with CP, it was like right before his tour ended. And that's when he re-enlisted.
Instead of coming home, which is dirty.
Yeah, and he's like, I told myself it was for the money to pay the bills and the health insurance, which, like, I do think there is a difference between him re-enlisting and running away that way, and Shannon straight up, like, ghosting them and leaving and abandoning them.
In the night.
But, especially because he was, like, still, like, he still FaceTimed them and video chatted them, like.
He just wasn't there, and money was going to them. It was just, like, Shannon did need help with everything going on, but he wasn't there in the way that he needed to be, even though he was technically still providing for the family. Quick note here, Buck and Eddie are sitting at a fountain, on the edge of the fountain, watching Chris go and talk to Santa because he said he wanted to do it by himself. Their knees are, like, pressed up against each other. Why did they do that?
A lot of things in this scene, I'm like, why did they do this?
Lots to unpack. Oh, and by the way, part of the reason why they took Chris to go see Santa, even though Eddie didn't want to because he's scared of Santa, is Chris won't tell Eddie what he wants for Christmas. And he's like, I don't know how else to find out. So they're thinking if he tells Santa, then they'll be like, oh, what did you tell Santa? And then he can piece it together.
Buck is pro Shannon being back in Chris's life.
Yeah, he's like, you should let her see him.
Which, finally somebody said it.
Yeah. God forbid Buck is the one with the most sense here, but okay.
But Chris does finish up, and he still won't tell them what he asked Santa.
He's like, I can't tell you, tee-hee-hee-hee.
Yeah, and it won't come true. But Eddie picks up Chris and walks away, and right before Buck is about to walk away, the elf lady who brought Chris back to them was like, "You guys have a beautiful family." And let me tell you, I feel like a lot of people get into this show because they like hear about the gay firefighters. I did not know Buddy was a thing when I started this show. I found this show in like the most like old lady way. I saw a clip of it on Facebook and I was like, "Ooh, that looks good." And then I looked up, it was on Hulu, and then I was kind of just watching, and this scene happened, and I was like, "Oh, they're setting up these two guys to get together." And then I googled it to find out when they got together, and I was like, "Wait, they're not together." Why did they have that scene?
I don't know why you would put that scene in if it wasn't to like indicate, first of all, Eddie's having problems in his marriage, then this happens. It really does feel like they were moving in that direction. Buck just got out of a relationship. They're both single, technically.
Like, I admit now, I definitely watch the show with Buddy glasses on, which skews my perspective. But I remember watching this for the first time, no idea what Buddy was, like, was barely into the show, and just being really shocked that they had this scene without the intention of getting Buck and Eddie together. I mean, who knows? Maybe it was their intention way back.
But still, like, it's kind of shocking to have scenes like that included without any real movement in that direction. Like, I guess you could argue that Buck canonically being bisexual is movement towards it, but like, you can only go so far without doing something for Eddie. So, anyway, also Buck just responds with, "Thank you."
And then he skips away.
He's like, "Tee."
That's my family, that's my husband and my son. It was just, that's a crazy scene.
Wild scene.
And that's like from a GA's perspective, I'm like, surely somebody else sees it. It's not just like an like chronically online thing.
We then cut to Eddie's house, and Eddie's putting Chris to bed. Chris asks if Santa's real, and he wants to know, like, if something, like, because he says that when Eddie was away and he was deployed, he asked Santa to bring Eddie home, and it worked. So he's like, I want to know if Santa's real. And Eddie's like, hey, I just want you to know, things you ask for Christmas is not the same as wishes you make on your birthday. Like, you can say them out loud and they can still happen. And so Chris tells Eddie then that he asked Santa to find his mom because he wants to see her again.
Yeah, and I think this is the moment when Eddie realizes that he needs to let Shannon back into Chris's life.
Because it's something that both of them want. And even if Eddie is like still uncomfortable with it, it's not like he's the only person with opinions and the only person affected by this. So I think that he's like really realizing that this is better for everybody involved if they're involved in each other's lives again.
So then we cut to the next emergency, the emergency that David and Angel cried during.
Much like Buck.
Yeah. David, Angel, and Buck are all sitting in a room watching Soldier Family. Yeah, and crying.
You know, we love episodes that emergencies that parallel to what's going on in the lives of our main characters. This is very much the Eddie storyline parallel.
Oh, also another thing I wanted to say about the soldiers coming home videos. David will watch those to make himself cry.
Why?
When he's congested to decongest himself.
That's so funny. Oh my god. Good for him. I mean, whatever works, King.
So this girl is FaceTiming her dad, and it seems like he's currently deployed, and he's coming sometime after Christmas.
She said, like, in the next month or something. He's like, I'll see you soon. And she's like, yeah, in a month. It's a long time. But he's like, don't worry, I'll be there soon. I'll give you a hug.
And then it cuts to him on the other side of the FaceTime call, and we see he's just like on a city bus. And he hangs up, and somebody is like, "Are you surprising her?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've been traveling for 30 hours, and I'm so close. I need to make it on time to her recital because she was like at her Christmas recital for choir at school or whatever."
And she has a solo. Part of the reason why they were FaceTiming was she was like, okay, like I talked to my teacher and she said it's okay to FaceTime you in so you can see it happening. And he's like, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you.
Right after this happens, he tells this to like an old lady, or not an old lady, she's like an older lady.
She's like a middle-aged lady. She's older than him.
She's like Carla's age.
He's worried he's not going to get there on time. And she's like, don't worry. Like, you've done everything you can, and the Lord wouldn't let you miss something this important. And he's like, I sure hope not.
So right after this conversation, he notices the guy in front of him pickpockets some other guy and steals his wallet, and he goes to stop him, and they're like kind of beefing about it, and then they get T-boned by a truck. And so then it cuts the 911 call, and the 118 gets there, and we find out that it's mostly minor injuries.
Somehow.
Because it was like a crazy crash.
Yeah, like the bus is like on its side, and it's like really bad.
But the only person who was like severely hurt was the pickpocket. And the Marine dad is like, he has his finger in the hole. And Eddie's like, oh, you learned that in whatever? And he's like, yeah, I was deployed here, I'm a Marine. And he was like, oh, I was in Afghanistan. And he's like, you're in the army? And they like bond over that.
Yeah, and the Marine's like, nobody's perfect. And then Eddie's like, oh, okay, would you mind like keeping your finger on his artery for a minute? You don't have anywhere to be, right? And the guy's like, yeah, no, it's fine, I'm good. And I'm just like, Kang.
But they do stabilize him, and we find out that he's gonna be okay. And Eddie's like, thanks to you, Marine. And he's like, yep. And this guy is covered in blood. He goes into the bus and is able to grab his bag out of the bus. And we kind of cut back to the 118 by the fire truck, and we see the same lady that was talking to the Marine. Do we know the Marine's name?
They never say it. I kept looking for it. I kept listening for it. They only refer to him as Marine or soldier or dad. And like, we don't know his name at all. So I was like looking on his uniform to see if his name was there, and I couldn't find anything.
It's like really awkward referring to him as Marine, but I guess we'll just keep going with that.
I guess we have to. Eddie calls him Marine.
But we cut to the 118 and we see the same lady who was talking to him on the bus talking to Eddie. And Eddie comes running back and he's like, I heard you have somewhere to be. Get in the fire truck. Changing into military fatigues.
It was sad because he was in like his dress uniform because he was gonna like be all fancy to go to his daughter's recital. And obviously he can't wear that because it's covered in blood.
Eddie's like helping him get his shoes on and tying them for him. And he's like, you better hurry up, we're almost there.
Buck's in the seat and he's like, I'm gonna cry. I always cry at soldier reunion videos. I just know I'm gonna cry.
They get there and the Marine gets out and he's like running in. And for whatever reason, Bobby, Eddie, and Buck also get out and follow him in.
They were like, we have to see this. By the way, his daughter solo, it's to I'll Be Home for Christmas, which is like very heartwarming and beautiful. And she's like in the middle of performing. They go in. He just stands at the back with the firefighters. And then she notices him and she like gasps and like runs to him. And it's actually very sweet.
It is. And like then her mom realizes that her husband's home, and Buck is like, yup, I knew I was gonna cry every time. And then Eddie is like also tearing up next to him.
And he's like, wait a second, a family reuniting? Things connecting.
Yeah. He's like, I'm crying and I don't know why.
What if this was my family? Our next scene. This is the scene that I remember this episode for, quite frankly. The most thrilling scene to me.
In my head, I was like, oh, I know that Bobby and Athena break up at some point. But then I was like, did that already happen? I couldn't quite remember. And so I was like, maybe they like do break up for like an episode and then get back together soon. But then I was like, oh wait, no, he proposes.
Yeah, because it was like, we're supposed to think they're gonna break up.
Yeah, and I couldn't quite remember what happened at the end of it.
But we cut to Athena's house. She opens the door and Bobby's there. And she's like, oh, I didn't know if you were going to come. I thought I scared you off. She starts apologizing. She's like, I know it's a really big thing for you. And I never wanted you to feel like I was putting pressure on you. I just wanted you to know how I felt. And he was just like, no, I don't want you to apologize. You were speaking from your heart. And that's what's important. And I love this about you. And he's like, but I have something for you. And he hands her a gift. And she's like, oh, you don't want to wait until tomorrow morning? Because I guess it's Christmas Eve. He's like, I don't want to wait another minute.
Yeah, and at this point,
you're like, oh my God.
So she opens it, and it's like a key.
It's like a distraction.
Yeah. And she's like, oh. Yeah. And he's like, you gave me a key to the house. I gave you the key to my heart. And then he gets down on one knee and proposes.
She does like a double take. So good.
And he's doing this like whole speech about how much he loves her. It's very sweet. And she's like, Bobby, stop talking. It's a yes.
She's like, listen to me. You don't have to sell it. Yes. And he's like, oh my God, you said yes. It's a Christmas miracle. She's like, put the ring on.
Which I love Bobby and Athena. But if he thought it was a Christmas miracle that she said yes, why was he proposing?
Exactly.
But I'll forgive them because they're perfect.
Maybe he's like, a Christmas miracle is his happiness. He's like, that's a miracle. So they're engaged. Yay. I love them. I'm so happy they're together.
I literally wrote in my notes, I love them. So then the next shot is of Chris. This shot of Chris was so weird. It was just him unblinking in bed. He looked dead.
He was very young, so like I understand that you only have so much to work with child actors usually.
It was just a really odd shot, but it's like him waiting until 6 a.m. for Christmas, and he gets up and there's like arrows pointing outside, and
he's like calling to his dad and he can't find him. He follows the arrows outside. And just like in what Shannon said earlier, there's a big Christmas tree outside and she's there and he runs to her and he's like, Mommy, it's so cute.
It is. And Eddie's just watching, and then they do like a family group hug.
And Chris says, I knew Santa could do it again.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so cute.
We have a Nash Grant Wilson Christmas morning, and Athena is showing off her engagement ring, which Hen and Karen are like, oh my God, that diamond is huge. It is huge. How did Bobby afford that? It's like the size of my fist.
It's a rock. Like, that thing could kill somebody. I feel like he had to just have savings that he wasn't using.
All the insurance money from his family dying.
Probably. He was like, I feel too guilty to use this. I can't do this. And also, it's not like he gets paid pennies as a captain. So,
do you think he really took the 3-month salary thing seriously?
I think he may have. He was like, I have to get her exactly what she deserves, and it is a rock the size of a human eyeball.
Whatever, she deserves it.
He's like, anything for her. She's perfect.
Buck shows up with eggnog and champagne, and he's like, eggnog for Christmas?
And champagne for a celebration. Yeah.
So it's cute that they all are having Christmas together. Athena is like, you're always welcome here. I'm so glad you could come. I love you. And apparently Maddie and Chimney are spending Christmas, just the two of them.
They were invited, they do say, but they decided not to come.
Yeah, they wanted a more low-key Christmas.
It's crazy how Chimney keeps going like, she's not my girlfriend, but you don't really spend Christmas with like your friend
that you have feelings for, and that you've admitted that you have feelings for.
And like, just the two of you.
But they're watching Die Hard and ordering Chinese food. Maddie apologizes about freaking out over the tree, and of course Chimney is like, no worries, my queen, you've never done anything wrong.
He's like, we will move at exactly the pace you want.
Maddie is wearing a millennial-ass Maddie necklace.
She loves that thing.
But he gets there, and it turns out that Maddie did put up a tree that she got off the sidewalk, which the implication is that it's just the tree that Chimney got her.
It's the same tree that she like maybe like went back later that night and felt bad about it and pulled the tree in. And she says, though, that she was like, look, the reason why I freaked out was because Holidays with Doug were such a performance, and it was horrible, and we were acting like everything was okay, but it wasn't. And I just want to reclaim that now, especially since last Christmas was the day I decided I wanted to leave him.
Yeah, which, okay, did she leave right after Christmas? Was she kind of like figuring things out because a whole year she came back at the beginning of the season,
which was only a few months previously. So like I feel like she must have started like making plans then. When she first showed up at the beginning of the season, it was like she was paying for everything with cash. So I feel like for a while she had to like been putting away money to be able to have cash to do that. So maybe it was like she was like, okay, I'm serious about it. I need to go. I need to start making solid plans for getting out.
we do have a flashback to last Christmas, and we see Maddie like bloody and beaten. She's crying. The Christmas tree is toppled over.
She's like trying to clean it up, and like she's like so upset and hurt. And we hear from the other side of the camera, we hear Doug talking to her, and he's like, I know you tried so hard, but it just wasn't right. Next time you'll get it right. It wasn't perfect. And then it cuts to him. Who is Doug but Jason Bailey?
And then it like we see that Doug is in his car right outside Maddie's apartment.
And he has Chimney's wallet because he stole it from him.
That is where that episode leaves off. And I mean, this is kind of like the beginning of the arc for the next few episodes. So tune in 2 weeks to find out what Doug is gonna do. Can't be anything good.
It cannot.
Or maybe it's something great. You don't know, because this is a spoiler-free podcast.
Maybe he's sitting there in his car and he's like, you know what? I just have these beautiful divorce papers ready, and I just need to get a signature on them.
I'm gonna go to therapy, and I'm never gonna look at a woman again.
And also, jail. I'm turning myself in. I'm calling Athena.
And everybody lives happily ever after.
Except for Doug, but that's what he deserves.
Anyways, what horrors do you want the 118 to face next week?
Oh, I didn't think about this.
Who's surprised? No one. I'll go.
Nobody. I never have something prepared for this. I'm tired.
Mine is, so you know how in Jaws, when they filmed the movie, they used that robot shark, and it kind of, like, after the movie was done, they kind of lost it in the ocean, and it just appeared on a shore one day. I want them to face a robot shark, and everybody is, like, freaking out, and we keep thinking people are getting attacked, but it's just a robot shark. And then it's, like, from a Jaws knockoff, and Buck is like, oh my god, that's the robot shark from that movie.
Teeth!
Mouth! That came out last year! That's so cool! They said this went missing during the filming! Or like maybe at the beginning of the episode, like the 118 goes to see it together and Buck is like, this was the coolest movie ever! And he gets really into sharks, and they go swimming with the sharks at the aquarium, and there's like an emergency there. You said an aquarium emergency last week. Well, last week, 2 weeks ago, 6 months, 2 weeks ago in the podcast, 3 weeks ago in the podcast, because we're taking a break for Thanksgiving, and then 6 months ago for you.
My problem with these is I was like, I don't even know what to say because I don't remember what I said all that time ago.
You know what? That's fine. This is not a serious podcast. Nobody's listening to this for, if you repeat, whatever, somebody will let us know and we'll move on.
I know. Yeah. And they'll be like, you already said that. And then I'll be like, well, you know what? Maybe I'm now combining those ideas. I would like for them to there's a deal with like somebody gets lost in a corn maze and it's like the labyrinth. They have to go in. Corn mazes freak me out, okay? I don't like them. They're stressful to me. And I think it would be like a good, like spooky episode if they're like, ooh, we're going in, we're finding people, but then they get lost. Who's stranded in the corn maze? I feel like that would happen to Chimney. Possibly there's a weird guy in the maze, like the Minotaur.
An emergency at like a scare house and the actors don't know there's an emergency.
So they're just like scaring them.
Imagine Chimney getting chased by a guy with, like, a chainsaw.
Oh, it'd be so good.
If that happens next year, then I'll know for sure Tim Minear is listening.
And you know what, Tim Minear? You could at least subscribe to the $20 tier if you're gonna steal our ideas. Because we know you're doing that.
Shall we sign off?
Let's do it.
Thank you for listening. We will be here in 2 weeks with the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon. You can even like be a free subscriber.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Check it out. Get our emails. Come join our Discord. Listen to the bonus episodes. Listen to the extended cuts. It's a fun time. And we'd really appreciate it. The link for that will be in the show notes. Stop laughing at my inability to talk. I'm not a good talker. Crazy thing for a podcaster, but I'm not. I was born with Mercury in retrograde. I have speech issues. It is the curse of Mercury in retrograde. See?
It just happens again and again. I love it.
You can follow the podcast on Twitter and TikTok at Station118pod, or on Tumblr and Instagram at Station118podcast. You can follow me, Sachi Howson, on Twitter at Olivia Sachi, on Instagram at Sushi Sachi, or you can check out my website, www.sachigashstuffed.com. All of that will be in the show notes. Go find us, Emmy. Flemmy Emmy. Flem M spelled with the EGM. Where can they find you?
I'll tell you this. My name is not spelled EGM in any of the usernames I'm about to tell you. You can find me on Twitter at MKWrites. I'm not really on there anymore. On Instagram at MKWrites97, which I also am not very active on, but that's because I've been dead. And then I'm on Tumblr at Get Consumed. That's it. That'll also be in the show notes.
Oh, also M's phone number is beep 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 boop bop beep bop bop.
Yes, text me, please.
Join our group chat. Join our Grext.
Our Grext, as Sachi always says.
That's a word. That's not just a me thing.
I know, but it feels like it's a small percentage of people who says Grext.
Finally, I don't think I've mentioned this at all. I usually love plugging our email. If you have any emergencies you want the 118 to face, or any emergencies of your own that you faced,
if you had turkeys on your car,
email us at station118podcast@gmail.com, and we might just feature you in the show. You can also feel free to message us on Tumblr or wherever else. Patreon, whatever social media we're on, feel free to message us. We're there. Discord, if you join the Discord, there's a channel for that if it ever starts getting up and going.
If the people start to yap.
I'm always on Discord. Feel free to ping me. But besides that, I truly and sincerely hope from the bottom of my heart, stomach, all 7 chakras, from the very depth of my root chakra.
The 4 humors. Or are they 5 humors? I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
It's the medieval thing. They're like the balancing the humors.
Okay, well, if you say so. Did you guys know that M was actually a plague doctor back in the day?
Yeah, that was my past life.
If you want to hear a story about when I foresaw my own past life, subscribe to the $5 tier for the extended cut of this, because I'm going to cut this out. Sincerely hope you guys are good, have fun, and we'll be back in.
Have a beautiful holiday season. Love you.
Glad to be back and recording.
Hope you're glad to hear us.
Give us money.
Please. We're poor.
So we can buy presents for our families.
So we can ask Santa.
For our parents to come home.
Please.
Oh boy.
Bye.
Bye.